Java interview questions and answers part 2. What are pass by reference and pass by value? Pass by reference means the passing the address itself rather than passing the value. Pass by value means passing a copy of the value to be passed. What is Java API? The Java API is a large collection of ready-made software components that provide many useful capabilities such as graphical user interface, widgets. What is variables and then types? Variable is an identifier that denotes a storage location used to store a data values, unlike constants that remain unchanged during the execution of a program. A variable may take different values at different times during the execution of the program. Instance variables, class variables, local variables, parameters. What is dot operator? The dot operator is used to access the instance variables and methods of class objects. It is also used to access classes and subpackages from a package. Examples: person1.age, reference to the variable age. Define strings. Strings represent a sequence of characters. The easiest way to represent a sequence of character in Java is by using a character array. What is serialization? Serialization is the process of converting a object into a stream of bytes. What are different types of access modifiers? Variables is an identifier that denotes a storage location used to store a data values, unlike constants that remain unchanged during the execution of a program. A variable may take different values at different times during the execution of the program. Instance variables, class variables, local variables, parameters. What is an abstract class? Abstract class is a class which contains one or more abstract methods which has to be implemented by subclasses. An abstract class can contain no abstract methods. Also, abstract class may contain concrete methods. What are different types of access modifiers? Access specifiers are keywords that determine the type of access to the member a class. Public, protected, private, default. What are class variables? Class variables are global to a class and belong to the entire set of objects that class creates. Only one memory location is created for each variable. What is the collection interface? The collection interface provides support for the implementation of a mathematical bag, an unordered collection of objects that may contain duplicates. What must a class do to implement an interface? The collection interface provides support for the implementation of a mathematical bag, an unordered collection of objects that may contain duplicates. What is an array? Array is a group of related data items that shares a common name. For instance, we can define an array name salary to represent a set of salaries of a group of employees. Examples: salary of 10. What is a list iterator? The list and set collections provide iterators, which are objects that allow going over all the elements of a collection in sequence. The java.util.iterator interface provides for one-way traversal, and java.util.listIterator is an iterator for lists that allows the programmer to traverse the list in either direction, that is forward and or backward, and modify the list during iteration. What is the main difference between a string and a string buffer class? String is immutable. You cannot modify a string object but can replace it by creating a new instance. Creating a new instance is rather expensive. String buffer is mutable. Use string buffer or string builder when you want to modify the contents. String builder was added in Java 5 and it is identical in all respects to string buffer except that it is not synchronized, which makes it slightly faster at the cost of not being thread safe. When to use serialization? A common use of serialization is to use it to send an object over the network, or if the state of an object needs to be persisted to a flat file or a database. What are wrapper classes? Primitive data types may be converted into object types by using the wrapper classes contained in the java.lang package. Examples: int, float, long, char, double. What is the difference between an instance variable and a static variable? Class variables are called static variables. There is only one occurrence of a class variable per JVM per class loader. When a class is loaded, the class variables are initialized. Instance variables are non-static and there is one occurrence of an instance variable in each class instance, also known as a member variable or a field. What is a user-defined exception? User-defined exceptions may be implemented by defining a new exception class by extending the exception class. What is an instance of operator? Instance of is an object reference operator and returns true if the object on the left hand side is an instance of the class given to the right hand side. This operator allows to determine whether the object belongs to a particular class or not.